All right, we are live. We seem to have lost one person. Where is Rohit Koshi gone? But no worries. So, guys, we are here. This is a little unusual because we are supposed to be on Khulke, but there was a last minute tech issue. But no worries, we're going to be here. We're going to be recording it. If you have any comments, you can, of course, contact us here also. There are comments button is open. So we're just waiting for Rohit to join in. He's one more panelist, and I'll explain the reason for this panel. So we're not going to talk about student stress, okay? And I have with me an entire panel full of alumni from IIT Delhi. I myself am an engineer, but I'm from a very low down college in Panvel, New Bombay. So I've grown up knowing that IIT people are legends, and they really know their stuff. And we've all read Chetan Bhagat. So we're going to find out how true all of that is with these live experiences from these people. Okay, guys, before we begin, let's just have all of y'all, introduce yourselves in brief. So, Neeraj, could we hear from you?
Yeah, great. Hi, guys. I'm Neeraj, IDelhi 98 graduate. So you can see 25 plus years journey.
Mhm.
So a lot of experience in IIT outside it. Currently runs a mental health company for exclusively for students.
Okay.
So yeah, gonna enjoy this podcast.
All right. All right. Rima, let's hear from you.
Hi everyone, I am IIT Delhi 2006 pass out, dual degree. एक degree से मैं खुश नहीं हुई थी, so I did bachelor's in chemical engineering and master's in process engineering and design. And right now I'm based out of Dubai and I run an Indian women community here, which is the largest community.
Okay. And Rohit, let's hear from you. Rohit, are you in a car? Are
Hi,
you driving?
no, I am sitting at the back. Thankfully, my classmate was good enough to lend a driver. So yeah. Anyway, so Rohit Koshi, 99 graduate. I was a day scholar for a year, so I managed to flunk a year to ensure that I stayed in the hostel for 4 years. And I currently shuttle between Bombay, Bangalore, and Delhi.
All right.
Yep.
And Praneeth, let's hear from you. We don't have visual on Praneeth. His camera is thoda sa problem, but
Hi everyone, Pranit Rastogi this side. I am the most recent graduate from IIT Delhi amongst all. I graduated a month ago, so 2023 batch. And also, currently I'm working for Adobe as a member of technical staff. That too I've joined only a week ago. So
Okay.
I'm new into this corporate life and all. And the youngest of the panelists.
Oh, you had to say that. All right. Uh, fine,
Yeah, you
will do.
कोई तो होना चाहिए ना जो recent खबरें दे.
Yes.
And I've done a BTech in chemical engineering. I was a 4-year student.
All right. What do you all mean by 4 year student? Isn't engineering anyway 4 years?
No, the BTech is 4 years, so Bachelor in Technology is 4 year, and if we do an additional degree of Masters in Technology, then it is 5 years.
Okay. Okay. Cool. For us, it was all 4 years. So this is all news to me. Okay. How did y'all decide to go into IIT? Was it your decision? Was it your parents' decision? Neeraj?
Yeah, okay. Little unusual case. I'm from a very small town in Western UP. So I think nobody knew about engineering होती क्या है. So but शायद पढ़ाई में थोड़ा ठीक था.
Okay.
तो मेरे एक टीचर भैया थे. तो I think I came first in my school, but marks बहुत कम थे, 68.5%, but I was topper of my town. But he said तुम्हें इंजीनियरिंग करनी चाहिए. So जाओ कोचिंग करो IIT की, and I think that worked.
Okay. So you started the coaching from your 10th standard or from when?
No, I took a year's drop. So after 12th only.
After 12th. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So you took a whole year to do the coaching class. Like you were not
Yes,
studying
yes.
otherwise. All right.
No,
Okay.
no. So maybe that's why it was a, I would say, a relatively lighter year compared to how it happens today.
Okay.
So a lot of
We
fun along with the studies, staying away from home. So I think, but I didn't go to Kota. So probably we hear more the Kota stories, but this was a closer town, Muzaffarnagar.
okay.
So individual teachers, very respected. You get full attention. So I think those days didn't realize that the doing a coaching is such a stressful thing,
Mhm.
because you stay with some friends. Yeah, of course, there used to be a lot of pressure
Okay.
कि पढ़ना है अच्छे से, and IITs those days were few thousand seats only.
Okay.
So you wouldn't worry too much about it कि होगा नहीं होगा. But yes, I mean, maybe in my case it was just give your best and देखेंगे क्या होता है, क्योंकि कोई घर से कोई प्रेशर नहीं था, कोई सिबलिंग नहीं थी, कोई किसी से कंपैरिजन नहीं था. So maybe it worked really well in my case.
All right. Rima, what about you?
For me it was simple. पढ़ाई में अच्छे थे, 10th class में नंबर अच्छे आ गए, and जब आपके मार्क्स अच्छे आते हैं तो there are only 2 streams you can choose from. You can become a doctor and I couldn't survive bio because I can't cut things and I can't look at blood. तो
Okay.
मेरे पास एक ऑप्शन था कि नॉन मेडिकल लेना है, and that's when the coaching for physics, chemistry, maths started back to back every day. I've done it for 2 years. सुबह की सुबह 5:30 बजे से ट्यूशन चालू होता था, फिर स्कूल जाते थे, फिर शाम को एक और ट्यूशन जाते थे, और फिर संडे सैटरडे संडे पढ़ाई करते थे, क्योंकि मंडे हमेशा टेस्ट होता था किसी ना किसी ट्यूशन पे.
Oh my. Did you get
Yeah.
a chance to like go out with friends, or all of that was happening? Not at all.
Nothing was happening in 11th and 12th. I think I discovered it after reaching IWD ki I think my 11th, 12th and my bachpan had not really bachpan I used to play, but after 10th, 11th, 12th was pretty much from coaching and back home, and from coaching and back home, and that's it. I think that's what I
Alright.
remember.
Okay. Rohit, are you with us? Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I just switched off my camera because the background was like had
No
a lot of
worries.
light. But yeah, I'm here.
So, what was your IIT journey like? Like, did you want to do IIT or were you forced into it?
So I'm a second generation IITian, like Praneeth. My dad was from IIT Bombay. So
Okay.
when I was, I think, 8 or 9 years old, he had taken me to the college to show his hostel room and all of that. So I knew that something called IIT existed.
Mhm.
In the 11th, I took science, and like Rima, I didn't want to cut frogs, so I didn't take bio. I took computer
Okay.
science. Yeah, it was very practical. I mean, I didn't want to do that. Plus, I was very bad at drawing, so I figured out in the 9th itself that bio is not for me going forward. Um, and like Neeraj said, right? So I took serious coaching only around August of my 12th. So I did like serious going to coaching student back only for 6 months. Before that, I'd taken brilliance, but it's fine. You know, the packets would come. I'd do something here and there, but not too seriously. In fact, that time, the owner of that coaching institute used to go to schools and do these sample classes. And we thought 50 rupees an hour is too expensive. And then they had this scholarship exam. So had I not gotten the scholarship, I would probably not have joined the coaching and would have probably gone to DU. But yeah, so again, like I didn't have too much stress because I was not the topper in my class or my school. So the expectations were not
No, we lost you there.
I think his
Okay.
network is a bit patchy.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll come back to that.
yeah. So I said which could manage somehow. Yeah.
All right. All right. Okay. Praneeth, let's hear from you.
Yeah, so my journey to IIT has been completely different from all, as obviously because I'm a recent graduate. So मेरी जर्नी ऐसी थी कि I was interested in mathematics and all, because at my time when I was in school in class 7th or 8th maybe, a lot of Olympiads, inter-school competitions, and a lot of things used to happen at my school particularly. So I was in DPS RK here at Delhi only. So बहुत कुछ होता था, तो I was interested in maths only, and I used to, मतलब मैंने पहले in 7th or 8th I had done maths of level 10, class 10 only. So I
Okay.
completed all of that, and I started doing class 11 maths since class 8th or 9th only. So I was
Oh my.
interested in. So after that I 10th results came in and all. So results के basis पे तो कुछ नहीं, because these days everyone is getting the same CGPA in 10th. That is
One second. CGP means?
CGPA is cumulative grade point average. So basically
How do you all calculate that?
So that is in 10th, it is simple that if you get a A grade, then it's 10 points, so and 9 points for a minus, so
Okay.
you calculate it cumulatively.
All
Basically,
right.
you average out all the grade points you get.
Okay.
So science to leni thi, it was kind of pre-decided for me. And as Rohit sir told that, yes, my father is also from IT Delhi, from the same hostel where I've passed out from. Kumar.
Okay.
We are both from the same hostel, and
Okay.
he passed out in 1995. So उसके बाद मेरी I did my coaching in Bombay, not in Delhi. My father got transferred because, and वहाँ पे I didn't attend school. We had this concept of junior college, wherein
Mhm.
you are enrolled into a school. Your name is enrolled into a school, but you don't need to attend school. You only need to attend coaching and all. So I used to attend coaching for 4 days a week or 3 to 4 days a week, going in the morning at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock and coming back by maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, and then studying on my own, giving a lot of tests, CAO. Because the point these days is that the competition in this IT examination, the JEE examination, has increased a lot. Not because of the difficulty. Difficulty used to be more, I guess, in those days, but due
Mhm.
to more students giving the exam. So
Okay.
वैसा कुछ था. So बायो वगैरह तो खैर आई यूज टू डिसलाइक सिंस क्लास 8 में भी और 7th में भी, तो वो तो नहीं लेनी थी. वैसा है तो
So
बस
this is
that's it.
something students normally do, like take some sort of an admission in a junior college and then concentrate
Yes,
fully on the
these
JEE.
days, these days it is very very common. मतलब आजकल there are very less number of students who are actually doing IIT JEE preparation while going to normal school. People
Okay.
usually just skip out school for 2 years and then prepare, because in quota this is happening. मतलब
Yeah.
every student who is registered into a coaching, let's suppose Allen, which is one of the most famous coaching institutes right now. So you are not going to school regularly for 2 years. You completely miss out school. You go to a coaching class day and night. You give your tests. You give this and all this, and then finally you give JEE. That's it.
But so few people get into IIT every year. So then what happens to the people who don't get into the JEE that year? It's repeated
So
year after year?
no, so you're given a maximum of 2 attempts, right?
Oh, I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yeah, you're given a maximum of 2 attempts, like, back to back. So then again, if you take a drop year, then you might get into IT the next time, or maybe then you'll get into some other college. There are a lot of engineering colleges in India these days. So yes,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Now, y'all all got into the JEE, and how did it feel, Neeraj, when you got your results and you knew that you had gotten? What was the atmosphere like?
मतलब मुझे अभी भी याद है उन दिनों ना न्यूज़पेपर में आता था रिजल्ट.
Okay.
हाँ, सो इट्स लाइक कि और रिजल्ट की डेट पहले से डिक्लेयर नहीं होती थी कब आने वाला है. सो यू हैव टू वेट. ओके, कल आएगा या नेक्स्ट डे आएगा. सो दिस अर्ली अर्ली 90s. सो गर्मियों के दिन थे, लाइक छत पे सोना, तारे गिनना रात भर. सो सुबह में, so like I told you, I'm from a very small town. तो सुबह
Mm-hmm.
न्यूज़पेपर की एक कार आती थी तो ड्रॉप करते थे. So I used to go there every day though that entire week, morning में, and just pick up the copy. So that day जिस दिन result आया, I couldn't believe my name was there. So that is
Okay.
the first thing. That is the first, I think, all the students, all of us would relate to. When you see your name there, it's a very, very different feeling. But then the news broke, and I was a star overnight actually. टाउन
Okay.
से पहला बच्चा, घर से पहला बच्चा इन आईआईटी. एक्चुअली मुझे सच में नहीं पता था कि इतनी बड़ी चीज होती है आईआईटी. आई विल बी वेरी
Mm-hmm.
ऑनेस्ट. आई थिंक अभी तो पता है बिकॉज, बट दो इन माय टाइम आई रियली डिडंट नो कि
Okay.
इट्स सच अ बिग थिंग, इट्स सच अ बिग थिंग. बट हाँ, वहां जाने के बाद रियलाइज हुआ, या रादर उससे निकलने के बाद रियलाइज हुआ I would say. जब वहां थे तब भी इतना रियलाइज नहीं हुआ कि आप इतनी बड़ी जगह पर हो. हाँ, वहां से निकलने के बाद हो तो आई थिंक द फीलिंग वाज अमेजिंग. आई
Mm-hmm.
थिंक घर वाले नहीं, मतलब जिनसे कोई बात नहीं कस्बे में, जहां से भी निकलो एवरीबॉडी वाज कांग्रेचुलेटिंग. सो आई थिंक वन थिंग आई रियली रियलाइज्ड, इफ व्हेनेवर आई थिंक अबाउट दैट टाइम, कि पढ़ाई में अच्छा करने वालों को सच में बहुत रेस्पेक्ट मिलती है.
Okay.
Yeah, I realize that, like, if you win such you get through such prestigious competitions and all, see, कोई आपसे कुछ मांगने वाला नहीं है ना, but still
Mhm.
people will come congratulate you, they will feel genuinely happy for you.
Okay.
So it was just like the पूरा celebration का माहौल, and I still have those memories.
All right. Rima, what about you? You're muted. You're muted.
I think when my results were coming up, internet was kind of a new thing, like back in 2001. And तो वो modem चलाकर router connect करके you had to log in and you had like minutes of internet that you could buy. तो हमें जब पता था कि डेट तो पता थी कि कितने बजे 12 बजे रात को रिजल्ट आना है. सो आई रिमेम्बर वो मॉडर्न ही नहीं चल रहा था. So I remember calling my technical guy late in the night, वो भैया जो हमें इंटरनेट देते थे. But thankfully we figured it out and ho gaya. And like in my whole family there's no engineer, so getting into IT they had no idea what exactly it is. And पता तब चला, मैंने बोल दिया कि अच्छा ठीक है रैंक आ गया है, आई थिंक मिल जाएगा एडमिशन, बिकॉज यू हैव टू देन आपका रैंक आता है सिर्फ जेई वाले दिन, एंड देन यू गो फॉर एन एडमिशन काउंसलिंग एंड यू डिसाइड व्हिच आईआईटी यू गोइंग टू. सो नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग न्यूज़पेपर में नाम आ गया.
Okay.
Which is when everybody started congratulating my family and my parents, and everybody realized, oh, it's a big thing. So it was a big thing then, and no, I think it was a great feeling. It was a very good
Okay.
feeling.
Okay. Rohit, are you with us? Okay. We'll wait for Rohit to get to connectivity. Praneeth, what about you? Now, Praneeth, I know that your family would have been expecting it, that you would
नो
have
नो
gotten
ऐसा
into.
नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं है.
No.
बट हाँ मतलब रिजल्ट्स वाला आई टेल यू देयर इज अ कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट स्टोरी. रिजल्ट वाला हमारा पहले तो ये है कि आजकल तो रिजल्ट पोर्टल वगैरह पे आता है, एंड इट इज बाउंड टू क्रैश एवरी टाइम द रिजल्ट कम्स इन. तो सुबह 10 बजे रिजल्ट आना था, बट आई गॉट टू नो माई रैंक अराउंड 3 और मे बी 4 PM दोपहर में. सो क्रैश तो हुआ ही था, एंड सुबह से हम लगे पड़े हैं कि निकालो 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 कहाँ से. और मुझे अपनी रैंक वैसे पता चली थी शायद आईआईटी बॉम्बे में, विच वाज माय सेंटर फॉर जेई. मतलब ऑनलाइन हो चुका है अब, क्योंकि एग्जाम ऑफलाइन रहा नहीं. सो वहाँ पे बाहर बोर्ड पे रैंक लिस्ट वगैरह लगी थी रोल नंबर्स के साथ. तो वहाँ से वन ऑफ माई टीचर्स फ्रॉम द कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट एट रीच्ड देयर, एंड उन्होंने कॉल करके बताया था कि ये तुम्हारी रैंक है. एंड वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम व्हाट नीरज सर एंड रीमा मैम सेड कि हमें मतलब मुझे रैंक पता होते ही सब आइडिया था कि कौन सी आईटी में कौन सी ब्रांच में क्या मिल सकता है, सब कुछ आइडिया था. बिकॉज दैट इज ऑलरेडी वो चीज़ें लास्ट ईयर की काउंसलिंग लिस्ट के अकॉर्डिंग ही चलती है मोस्टली. दैट थिंग्स डोंट चेंज मच बिकॉज द सीट्स आर नॉट इंक्रीजिंग मल्टीपल फोल्डेडली टाइम्स एवरी ईयर. सो लास्ट ईयर की काउंसलिंग की वी हैड द लिस्ट कि कौन सी रैंक पे क्या आईटी मिलती है. तो वो सब कुछ पता था. एंड ऑल्सो मतलब आई समवट न्यू माई प्रिडिक्टेड रैंक ऑल्सो, बिकॉज जब पेपर दे के आप आ जाओ, सो विद इन द नेक्स्ट 2 to 3 days जेई रिलीजेज योर रिस्पॉन्स शीट्स, दे रिलीज द आंसर कीज, कोचिंग रिलीजेज द आंसर की. सो आई न्यू मेरा कितना स्कोर आया है जेई में उस पेपर में. सो अप्रॉक्सीमेटली मुझे रैंक भी पता था अपना कि इतने के आसपास ही आएगा मेरा रैंक. वन ऑफ माई टीचर सेड कि 2000 के अंडर आएगी तुम्हारी रैंक, बाकी देख लो. तो भाई वही क्योंकि दे नो कि इतने पे यही आता है हर साल. सो बेसिकली व्हाट आई वांट टू से, आजकल बहुत मैकेनाइज हो चुका है सब कुछ. इट इज नॉट लाइक दोज डेज. हाँ एक्साइटमेंट बहुत थी जब रिजल्ट आया, ये वो फाइनली ऐसा लग रहा था कि अच्छा खत्म हो गया क्या, ऐसा टाइप्स. कोचिंग वाज लाइक ऐसे बार बार रोज जाना, कुछ समझ नहीं आता था कि बस पढ़ना है. एंड जिस दिन रिजल्ट आया इट वाज लाइक अच्छा ठीक है हो गया, अब क्या करना है, ब्रांच देखनी है. तो ब्रांच देखते हैं, वैसे वो वाली सीन थी. एंड आई वाज काइंड ऑफ पहले से ही था बिकॉज माय फादर इज फ्रॉम आईटी दिल्ली, एंड मम्मी आल्सो वांटेड कि मैं दिल्ली जाऊं. सो इट वाज काइंड ऑफ फिक्स्ड इन माय माइंड कि जाना तो है तो दिल्ली जाएंगे, वरना तो नहीं.
Okay. So tell me one thing. Y'all don't get any. Y'all don't get to choose which area of which IIT y'all are sent to.
We can choose. So it's basically depending on the rank. So basically there are a lot of options. Let's suppose 50 options. So 10 colleges, each having 5 options. So you can choose basically on your rank. You basically enter a preferred list of your choices. That the first one is I would like to have computer science in IT Bombay. But obviously a person getting a higher rank than me, if he enters that, so he'll get it. Then I'll get it according to my rank.
Okay. Yeah. Now y'all have gotten to IIT. I've never had an idea of what the campus life in IIT is like. They're beautiful campuses. What was your first week or day like? Is there ragging, as they say? Is ragging such a big problem? Let's hear from Neeraj first.
Yeah, I think I was scared like hell, huh? यार एक तो it's massive, हाँ? और so जब आप काउंसलिंग के लिए जाते हो ना, तो अभी प्रणीत जैसे बोल रहा था, काउंसलिंग होती है
Mhm.
एक्चुअल ज्वाइनिंग से पहले। तो काउंसलिंग के टाइम पे ही उन दिनों रैगिंग शुरू हो जाती थी, कुछ लाइक मेरी तो हो गई थी थोड़ी सी।
You mean they captured you outside the counseling hall or
हाँ,
whatever?
पता चला था ना, आप इतने डरे डरे सहमे से घूम रहे होते हो ना, मतलब यू कैन
हाँ.
एनीबॉडी कैन इजीली मेक इट आउट कि यार ये वो फच्चा बोलते हैं, लाइक फ्रेशर ना, फच्चा।
Mhm.
अभी पता नहीं क्या बोलते हैं। तो बट हाँ, तो व्हेन यू जॉइन इट, घर वाले बहुत उम्मीदों से भेजते हैं टीका वीका लगा के कि जाओ बेटा, तुम बहुत महान जगह जा रहे हो। लेकिन यार एक्चुअली बहुत डर लगता था उन दिनों, मतलब आप जाओ। तो हमारे टाइम पे क्या था, मतलब ये अटेंडेंस सिस्टम ना बहुत लेट इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ था आईआईटी में। तो हाँ, आवर बैच वाज वन ऑफ दोस अनफॉर्चुनेट वंस जो अटेंडेंस कंपलसरी थी। उसके पहले अटेंडेंस कंपलसरी नहीं होती थी उधर।
Mhm.
तो यू विल सी इवन ऑल द टाइम योर सीनियर्स रोमिंग अराउंड, एंड तो तुम वो शिकारी होते हैं और तुम उनका शिकार होते हैं उनकी नजरों में।
What happened to you? What did they do to you?
I mean, it's not very harsh, I would say,
Okay.
but it's just like you. I mean, they can make you very uncomfortable. See,
Okay.
the simple thing is like, but I would say no physical ragging and all,
Okay.
but you're not used to it. Like जैसे अभी प्रणीत ने बोला कि यार, या मेरी जैसे बैकग्राउंड, मैंने तो उसके पहले जिंदगी में कभी गाली ही नहीं दी थी।
Okay.
हमारी गालियां होती थी साला कुत्ता इस टाइप्स की। दो आई मीन यू नो, आप
हाँ.
घर पे रहते हो, आपका फ्रेंड सर्कल, आई मीन एवरीबॉडी नोज यू अराउंड, आप कहाँ। अभी तो थिंग्स हैव चेंज्ड अ लॉट, बट
Mhm.
द पॉइंट इज कि दैट एनवायरनमेंट इज वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट।
Okay.
सो आई वुड से रैगिंग होती है, अनकंफर्टेबल करती है आपको, बट हमारे केसेस में वो बहुत हेल्पफुल थी। तो that helps you to open up so much with your seniors and
If
even with your batchmates.
it depends
Correct?
on your personality, na? Like I think I would be horrible if I was ragged. I would totally go into a shell. It it's different
But they
personalities.
bring you out actually. So it's just
Okay.
just like, yeah, they know their boundaries. See, I think that was the best part, at least those days.
Mm-hmm.
He and I think if I look at in my case and a lot of my batchmates case, in our personality development, in the daring, uh, the initial interaction and that ragging period played a very very important role, because you become
Okay.
one after that. See,
Okay.
it's just like वहाँ पे कोई सीनियर जूनियर नहीं होता है एक्चुअली। आप एक हॉस्टल में जाते हो, आपको एक हॉस्टल अलॉट होता है, और आप अपने 4-5 साल पूरे उसी हॉस्टल में रहते हो। तो
Okay.
you see, so throughout that journey you have your juniors and your seniors, so and you mix up so well actually.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the ragging होती थी, डर लगता था बहुत, लेकिन जब वो खत्म होती है,
Hmm.
oh, then you feel like so good, and then they pamper you. तो आप किसी ना किसी सीनियर के फेवरेट हो जाते हो, होता ही होता है, कोई ना कोई आपका फादर बन ही जाता है उस प्रोसेस में।
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Uh,
they help you a lot, yeah.
Rima, now as a woman, you must have faced, I don't know, different experiences. Tell me.
Different, yeah. I think ragging nahi hoti thi. It was called healthy interaction. But you're
Was it a
supposed
healthy?
yeah, no, it was very healthy to be honest. I think I would say I wouldn't say I enjoyed it at that time. I think I was obviously grumpy, but I think it helped you open up, क्योंकि हम ना
Mhm.
पढ़ने वाले बच्चे आईआईटी पहुंच जाते हैं, असली दुनिया उन्हें देखी नहीं होती है. So
Hmm.
you know, somehow the seniors would coach us, especially for girls. Like they taught us galis. They're like, कोई तुम्हें ये बोलेगा तो तुम्हें समझ में आना चाहिए. No, it's not that because we have to go and say it. But institute where somebody is using these words, you should understand what somebody is doing. And they would, for the first 2 weeks, we had to oil our hair like and make 2
I'm sorry,
chotis.
what?
Yeah,
Was this
oil.
ragging or was this IIT?
This is IIT. You know, for the first 2 weeks, all the girls have to oil their hair, make दो तीन, पता नहीं कभी दो चोटी senior को गुस्सा आ गया तो तीन चोटी, and go to classes like that. But you know what it does? It gives you confidence कि अब तो लड़कों ने मुझे ऐसे भी देख लिया है. You can go to IIT, you can go to campus in any way because you're yourself. Then after that, so to be honest, it gives you a lot more confidence. And you have to remember, IIT में हमारे टाइम पे आई थिंक द रेशियोज हैव चेंज्ड. वी वर 30 गर्ल्स एंड 500 बॉयज. सो वो रेशियो आपने देखा है ना. So you know, I think those 30 girls trying to handle 500 boys, I felt the seniors helped me a lot in that journey, and I've made some really good friends through those first 2 weeks of interactions. And even my juniors, you know, I did it the next year. Honestly, we were a part of the healthy interactions, but some of the best people and the best friends I've met through those first 2 weeks, because everybody gives you time at that time. क्योंकि कैंपस शुरू होता है, पढ़ाई कोई कर नहीं रहा होता है, so it's a good time to interact with everybody.
Okay. People in the comments, I can see that y'all are here to have fun. No worries. We were supposed to have this on Khulke. So this is a little more mischievous audience that has reached here. But I'm talking with IIT Delhi alumni. And if y'all have any questions about IIT, please ask. Praneeth, what about you? Did you get ragged at all?
Yeah, so now the scene is completely different again. The ragging is an offense. So rag तो आप नहीं कर सकते हैं because there is an anti-ragging committee and all ये सब and all.
But
So मेरा
Praneeth,
एकदम उल्टा,
one,
जैसे पापा ने
does
मुझे
anyone
सारी
one second, does anyone go and complain to the anti-ragging committee?
ragging होती नहीं है. People are too scared to rag now.
All
People are
right.
too scared.
Bol.
Okay, because if you are found ragging someone, so it is a very very harsh consequence on you, and you can literally get rusticated from the college. It's that harsh. So वो तो सब डरे होते हैं, but अब फिर वही ऑपोजिट एक बार हो जाता है तो दिमाग में भी सब कुछ ऑपोजिट की. पापा ने मुझे सारी रैगिंग की स्टोरीज बताई थी, ये बताई थी कि कैसे वो रैग हुए एंड उन्होंने 4th ईयर में आते आते कैसे लोगों को रैग वगैरह करा. सो उल्टा मैं और मेरे दोस्तों का ये था कि रैगिंग होनी चाहिए, क्यों नहीं हो रही, मतलब रैग करो. ऐसा जैसे नीरज सर सेड कि रैगिंग इज बेसिकली वही, इट एक्चुअली ओपन्स यू अप एंड बॉन्ड स्ट्रॉन्ग करता है वो आप में. सो ऐसा नहीं है कि आजकल देयर इज नो बॉन्ड बिटवीन सीनियर्स एंड जूनियर्स, बट द पॉइंट इज कि हाँ, जितना स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड जितना जल्दी उस टाइम पे बन जाता है बाय रैगिंग यू वंस. जैसे नीरज सर वुड एग्री, एक फ्रेशर्स नाइट होती थी, तब तक रैगिंग वुड गो ऑन एंड उसके बाद बंद हो जाती थी. दिस इज अगेन अ स्टोरी दैट आई हैव हर्ड. तो हाँ, यस.
अरे वो गोल्डन टाइम होता था, मतलब लाइक वो फ्रेशर्स नाइट वाज द मोस्ट मेमोरेबल टाइम एक्चुअली.
Okay.
सारी दीवारें गिर जाती हैं उस दिन.
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली. सो अभी रैगिंग वाला सीन है तो नहीं, उल्टा अब तो ऐसा रूल होता है कि द फ्रेशर्स आर नॉट अलाउड टू गो आउट ऑफ द हॉस्टल आफ्टर 10 PM फॉर 1 month. उन्हें मतलब इट इज एडवाइज्ड टू नॉट गो. बाकी पर कोई मानता तो नहीं है. शुरू में डर लगता है, उसके बाद तो ऐसा होता है घूमो बिंदास, कोई कुछ बोलेगा नहीं, पक्का नहीं बोलेगा कोई कुछ, क्योंकि किसी ने कुछ बोला तो मतलब ऐसा आप समझो कि व्हेन आई वाज अ फ्रेशर, जब फर्स्ट ईयर में था मैं, तो वी वर लाइक कि 40 days तक आप बाहर मत जाओ, इट इज रिकमेंडेड एंड ये वन थोड़ा बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट एक्शन हो जाएगा अगर आपको पकड़ लिया. तो हम तो बिंदास घूमते थे 10 बजे के बाद कि सीनियर डर रहा है हमसे बात करने से, हम नहीं डर रहे, सीनियर डर रहा है कि सीनियर ने बात करी तो सीनियर को दिक्कत हो जाएगी, हमें तो क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है, वैसे वाली चीज. बट वंस यू गेट इनटू योर सेकंड ईयर थर्ड ईयर, तो लोग जो आते हैं उनकी ऐसे प्रॉपर रैगिंग तो नहीं, रैगिंग के तरीके तो सारे आई नो, बट प्रॉपर रैगिंग तो नहीं, बट हाँ वैसे इंटरेक्ट वगैरह कराए कि फच्चों को फच्चे बोलते हैं, जैसे नीरज सर टोल्ड कि फर्स्ट ईयर वाले को फच्चा बोला जाता है, या आपने जूनियर को फच्चा बोला जाता है. सो उनके साथ कुछ भी करवाना कि लड़की बन के दिखा, ये करके दिखा, वो करके दिखा, ऐसे टाइप. तो सब कुछ हुआ है. यस.
Rohit, are you with us?
Yes, I'm back.
All right. Were you ragged?
So like Neeraj said, उसका काउंसलिंग का टाइम हुआ. आई वेंट टू चेक माई रिजल्ट आउटसाइड द लाइब्रेरी इन IIT, and as soon as I got to know that I got it, 4 seniors who were doing the summer course get out me and started interacting with me meaningfully. Although they did give good advice, one of them told me to give an address that is far away from the college. I didn't understand the reason, because my house was like 3 kilometers away. So at the end, I didn't get a hostel because my house was very close.
Oh.
Had I given a far away address, I would have gotten a hostel room.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Now, once you all started, your term in IIT. How much is the academic pressure? Like, is it constant? Are you all pressured to perform? Are students who perform well, like, academically given more importance on campus? Neeraj?
Yeah, so I think see, टीचर्स तो आपके चाहते हैं आप पढ़ो. रीमा हंस रही.
Why? What happened?
So नहीं, एक्चुअली दोज डेज तो हमारे टाइम पे तो आई थिंक मैं, रीमा और कोशी, हम तीनों के टाइम तक तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि एकेडमिक प्रेशर बहुत ज़्यादा था. इट वाज मोर हॉस्टल लाइफ. कुछ कुछ कोर्सेज होते थे बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट होते थे. जिंदगी में आईआईटी में घुसने से पहले किसी ने सोचा भी नहीं होता है कि आप फेल भी हो सकते हो. आपका डी ग्रेड या ई ग्रेड भी आ सकता है. बट कुछ कुछ कोर्सेज होते हैं जो आपको टेस्ट कर देते हैं और बड़े बड़े धुरंधरों को क्लीन बोल्ड कर देते हैं. तो हम सब ने किसी न किसी कोर्स में एक एफ लगा होता है, एफ, और तो वो आपको लेवल पे ले आता है. दूसरी बात ये होता है कि आप अपनी स्कूल के टॉपर होते हो, आपकी रैंक आती है, जब आप ऐसी जगह आते हो तो आपको लगता है कि यार तो आप इतने बड़े समुद्र में एक छोटी सी मछली हो.
Yeah.
एक से एक बढ़ के होते हैं. तो कुछ लोगों के लिए बहुत ज्यादा प्रेशर बिल्ड हो जाता है, मतलब हु हैव टू कीप अप टू द रेपुटेशन. बट आई थिंक मेजॉरिटी they become relaxed if you have a clear goal up front. Of course, you would work for that. Otherwise, mostly during our days, most of us were enjoying our life at IIT. The
Enjoying
hostel
your life. Okay.
enjoying college, with friends, a lot of extracurricular, lot of adventure, and that doesn't mean कि पढ़ाई के लिए serious नहीं थे. But then it's like most of us had no more ambition of becoming a topper in the college.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's like आपको पता है शुरू के पहले सेमेस्टर में पता चल जाता है कि कौन है जिसका एम 10 मारना है. 10 मतलब 10. फिर आप उनके सहारे छोड़ देते हो वो सारी उम्मीदें. and you find your place कि आप 6, 7, 8 में कहाँ रहना चाहते हो.
Okay.
And I think that decides the course of your life that used to. I don't know, प्रणीत ज्यादा बता सकता है अभी, क्योंकि बहुत ही फर्क है हमारे टाइम में और प्रणीत के टाइम में. बट हमारे टाइम पे एटलीस्ट आई थिंक IIT life used to be a great fun.
Okay.
Very very strict and tough courses. But competition wise या academic pressure wise इतना ज्यादा नहीं था.
But what about KTs? How does IIT work? Are you all allowed to take KTs and stuff?
KTs means you mean to back, right?
If you fail one subject, you're allowed to give it again.
Yeah, they give you all the terms.
Okay.
So आप summers में रुक कर सकते हो, आप next semester में कर सकते हो.
Okay. So it's not that strict.
They do expect कि कुछ तो students कुछ subjects में fail करेंगे.
Okay. All right. Reema, what about you?
Yeah, I think similar. I think first term में decide हो जाता है कि 10वीं वाले कौन बच्चे हैं जो अच्छे से notes बनाएंगे, and then I think a lot of the others actually discover life beyond studies.
Okay.
So there are enough extracurriculars happening on campus if you want to be a part of them. There is enough sports going on. There is dancing. There are events. Inter-hostel competitions and all of that stuff, which keeps you going and keeps you busy. So you have to find your comfort zone. If you are comfortable with being an 8 on 10 and participating a bit on the extracurricular side, some people take that edge. At least I went that route, more on events and all of that stuff. And then there are जो 10वीं वाले होते हैं वो notes बनाते हैं, कोई तो पढ़ेगा तो notes बनाने के लिए, right? So the photocopy shop on the campus makes a lot of money during exam days.
I would add to that जो रीमा ने बोला, तो क्या होता है हमारे जो टेस्ट होते थे उसके पहले सब लोग नाइट आउट मारते थे. तो टेस्ट के पहले डिसाइड होता था कि अच्छा नोट्स कहाँ हैं, किसके नोट्स कॉपी करने हैं. तो उसके आते थे सब बोलते थे यार इसकी 30 कॉपी बना के ले आना, 50 लेके आ जाना, सब में बांट देना. And that's how the night outs.
The person who made the notes was okay with all this sharing?
कोई ऑप्शन नहीं होता था.
अरे What does that mean?
जिंदगी के लिए उन्हें कुछ और फ्रेंड्स भी तो चाहिए होते हैं ना.
Arey, oh my God. Okay. All right. Rohit, please feel free to add. What was your experience?
No, nothing much to add to this. In fact, I would not even take the photocopy. Once my classmates finished with their photocopy, I would take that and study from that. So yeah, but yeah, just to
Okay.
add a data point, like almost like 20% of the students fail at least a physics course or a maths course in the first year.
Okay.
So that kind of sets all of us at whatever levels. And then, like the others said, those toppers are there who will keep fighting for the top 4-5 ranks. And then there are the rest of them who are fighting for those, not fighting, but they're happy with that 7, 8, 6 to 8 wala range. And then there are a few of us, like me, I was a 4-pointer, who are
Okay.
resigned that, okay, whatever we do, nothing will work. And I have empirical evidence that shows that my professors would grade me based on my CGPA, because all my department courses I got C's and D's. There was one new professor who came in the 4th year and she gave me a B. So because she was not clouded by the
So,
past, and
oh
all the
my.
humanities
Okay.
courses I managed A's and A minuses. Yeah.
So you're
So
saying that the professors definitely take into account your past scores and don't bother to see beyond that.
there is empirical evidence. That's all I
Okay.
can say.
Okay. Pranit, let's hear from you, because I think, were you a topper in IIT?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
You're sounding like one. You're sounding like a
नहीं
person
नहीं
who
नहीं
studied well.
zero ना बिल्कुल भी नहीं. मैं I struggled a lot at IT. मतलब हमारे अब ऐसा होता है कि डिपार्टमेंट चेंज वाली चीज़ें आ गई हैं, बिकॉज एवरीवन इज फाइटिंग कंप्यूटर साइंस. सो फर्स्ट ईयर में बेसिकली आपकी CGPA जितनी आती है एंड में, सो अगेन यू आर इनटू अ कंपटीशन कि जिनकी ज़्यादा CGPA दे कैन अप्लाई फॉर अ डिपार्टमेंट चेंज. सो जैसे आई
Yeah.
वाज इन केमिकल, तो you can apply for computer science or electrical, which is considered a higher branch than
Yeah.
chemical, let's suppose. तो वही कि नहीं मिली अच्छी ब्रांच तो ट्राई करेंगे डेप्सी बोलते हैं इन शॉर्ट, डिपार्टमेंट चेंज. तो
Okay.
वो तो फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर में औकात पता लग गई कि ये तो नहीं हो रहा है यहाँ पे. तो बिल्कुल ही आउट ऑफ क्वेश्चन. मतलब मिनिमम CGPA टू अप्लाई फॉर अ डिपार्टमेंट चेंज इन योर फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर इज 8, और वो भी नहीं आई, 8 भी नहीं आई. तो मैं कहा वो तो अब बिल्कुल ही भूल जाओ, अब कुछ नहीं होने वाला, वैसा टाइप
Okay.
सीन है. और आपको एक्चुअली यू नीड एटलीस्ट फॉर अ जनरल स्टूडेंट एंड ऑल, यू नीड मोर देन 9.5 और समथिंग आउट ऑफ 10 फॉर अ डिपार्टमेंट चेंज. इतना ज़्यादा कॉम्पिटिशन है नाउ डेज. सो आउट ऑफ क्वेश्चन. तो आफ्टर द फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर वेरी क्लियर कि पढ़ना नहीं है, मस्ती मारनी है. एक पॉइंट के बाद मतलब ऐसे हमारे में, जैसे अब नीरज सर ने बताया एंड बाकियों ने भी, कि 10सी इज 10, नहली इज 9, अट्ठी इज 8, सत्ती इज 7, ऐसे ऐसे नाम्स हैं. तो बस इतना है कि अट्ठी के ऊपर रखनी है तो कि थोड़ी इज्जत बनी रहेगी कॉलेज में, हॉस्टल में. बाकी अपना मस्ती मारो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. तो सेकेंड ईयर से लोग बोलते हैं कि केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग थोड़ी चिल हो जाती है, तो वो सब तो था ही. बट येस, इफ आई गो ऑन अ थोड़ा सीरियस नोट, फॉर सम स्टूडेंट्स एकेडमिकली आजकल हाँ काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रेशर है. As you might have also heard कि IT में आजकल suicides भी हो रहे हैं.
Yes.
So वही हो जाता है कि थोड़ा बहुत इसमें the point is कि reservation इतना ज़्यादा आजकल increase हो गया है that a lot of students come into IT and then कहीं ना कहीं वो pressure handle नहीं कर पाते, because again IIT का एग्जाम and all requires a lot of studies. तो ऐसा नहीं कि people don't study and come inside, people do, but शायद काफ़ी फ़र्क हो जाता है between some people and the other people. So फिर अंदर आके उतना ज़्यादा मैनेज कर पाना स्टडीज़ को, ये वो थोड़ा सा for only for a few students, but हाँ मुश्किल हो जाता है. बाकी तो
Okay.
हमारी ओरिएंटेशन में on the first day one of the deans said कि actually nowadays it is actually hard, or you have to work a lot to fail a course in IT. क्योंकि आजकल there are a lot of components in a single course. You have
Okay.
tons of assignments, you have tons of quizzes, you have tons of exams. So actually it is very difficult to fail a course in IT. मतलब आप पास तो हो ही जाते हो कुछ ना कुछ करके. प्रॉफ आपके इतना पीछे पड़ जाएगा कि भाई तू निकल, क्यों बैठा हुआ है टाइप्स, तू निकल वैसे टाइप्स. बट यस, स्ट्रेस तो है, स्ट्रेस काफ़ी है ऐसे. इफ यू सी काफ़ी चिल भी निकलता है वैसे. इफ यू से जैसे हमारे में एक स्लैंग यूज होता है IT दिल्ली का, ये स्पेसिफिकली चिल है. कुछ भी होता है तो जैसे मेरी आदत पड़ी हुई है, एनीथिंग हैपन्स मैं खुद को या फिर सामने वाले को ऐसे कि चिल है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, कोई BT नहीं है. तो BT इज बेसिकली बैड ट्रिप. एनीथिंग बैड हैपनिंग विद यू, तो उसे मेरी आदत पड़ गई कि ऐसे बीटी बीटी, तो
Okay.
मैं चिल है और कोई बीटी नहीं है ये बोलते रहता हूँ पूरे टाइम की, चिल है, निकल जाएगा निकल जाएगा. बट यस, स्ट्रेस मैनेज पे वो जैसा नीरज सर सेड, इट ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन यू काइंड ऑफ. करने
I'm
को
going
आप
to be
कर
asked.
सकते हो, इट इज नॉट
I'm going to be
हार्ड.
asking everyone about. Okay. Firstly, Shivam, they are all from IIT Delhi. Three of them are from, I think, 95-ish batch. And Paneet is a recent graduate. He graduated last year. Okay. Speaking of the suicides, I think there was a suicide last week also, right? If I'm right. I mean, it was that as recent as that. What is your take on it? Why is IIT so susceptible to suicides? Neeraj? And Neeraj also runs a mental health portal for students called Peak Mind.
Right, Kajol. No, I think it's very, very unfortunate, right? And as someone who is running a mental health organization, it's a very, very sensitive topic for us. We work very closely with the students who undergo this test prep journey. So a lot of suicide happens during that journey. Like we hear quota stories, we hear a lot of students giving up their lives even after board exams, or once they fail to secure a rank in the competitions and all. And you were asking that what happens to a lot of students who don't get the rank. So
Yeah.
just on records, I think last year some 12, like 11 or 12, like students appeared for IIT exam, and only less than 8% get a rank. So there are more than 90% students who still go through that stressful journey and move ahead in life. So I think then some of them, even the students who come to IIT is not a cakewalk again. It's a very, very new environment. Uh, and what might happen is basically is it's you have to really learn to adjust there quickly. It's a dual struggle one goes through. One is your inner struggle in terms of with what expectations you came to IIT, your self expectations. One second is the personality with which you have to adjust and cope in that environment. So, I mean, what we have seen closely. In last 2 years, we have saved more than 57 lives. The students who had extreme suicidal tendencies, and we could identify them in time, I would say. Can't make it out by looking at the person, that what is going inside that person.
Okay.
Even and in most of the cases, the friends of the students who take this extreme step would wonder, यार अभी सुबह तो बात कर रहा था अच्छे से, अभी 2 घंटे पहले तो ठीक लग रहा था, या जो भी है, how can someone take that step? So I think psychologically, it's like a point you reach in your life is you lose your self-worth completely somewhere. I think it is directly linked with that. And in that moment, and this is how the mind works, it is not a one-day thing. It is not a momentary thing. It's like you have those feelings with you for a very, very long time. And there are some triggers who keep pushing you in that direction. Now, these could be it could be mix of a lot of things, not just academic pressure, self expectations, some expectations from family,
Yeah.
uh, living in that very anxious state of low self esteem for a very, very long period. Even the depression pushes you there today. So,
Okay.
like Pranit was saying, आईआईटी में घुसने से पहले आप इतना पढ़ते हो, यू आर टोटली कट ऑफ फ्रॉम योर सोशल सिस्टम्स, यू आर टोटली कट ऑफ फ्रॉम फ्रेंड्स. सो पढ़ाई पढ़ाई पढ़ाई, तो आप बहुत ही सिंगुलर फोकस है. अभी हम सब कोविड से निकले हैं.
Yeah.
We are seeing so many cases right now. So as we are working with, so as a platform, we work with the coaching institutes like Akash, Chaitanya and all, because we feel that that journey is very, very intense. We work with the schools and colleges. So what is happening post COVID, the emotional energy in the students have generally gone down. Anxiety levels are up. So Now that stays with you. That stays with you. That stays with you until unless you go through a proper healing process, right? Now you are already more vulnerable inside.
Yeah.
So if you go to an environment which again is pushing you, and the reasons, like I said, it could be mix of many things. No single reason always works.
Okay.
Uh, you're not able to adjust. You have pressure from home. You have your self expectations, and there could be some more triggers. Plus, you came from that environment where you were
Yeah.
already at a low point, and this all gets added, uh, and then of course not having this help available to you on time. uh, I think that becomes another reason, because again we figure out awareness about mental health, well-being, uh, and is very very low.
Okay.
There's still a lot of stigma that when you go through this anxiety or feeling of loneliness and extreme negative thoughts, how to diffuse that, how to work on that.
Okay. Okay.
So I think that adds a lot to that. So recently there have been many cases, even premium institutes like IITs and all. It's a national agenda now. The government is taking a huge initiative in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah, so and mental health and well-being education is strongly recommended by government as part of NCRT curriculum and all that. The schools should start working on that, and I think it works. It is gonna help big time that if mental health and well-being education is becomes mandatory. I think it's a
Hmm.
fundamental right of everyone, and not just that. When you have when you reach that break point, it's too
Hmm.
late.
I
It's too late.
understand.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I would say that it's a tough environment. I mean, it's just not to IIT. It could be anything, basically any environment where it's the expectations are much higher from you.
I
Correct.
understand.
So
Okay.
that's what I my point would be on this.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you. I have a few more questions on that. Rima, are you here? Uh, yeah. What is your view on the suicides which happen in IIT? And have you have you been in contact with someone or known someone in your time who had committed suicide or?
No, thankfully, I don't recall anybody during the time I was there. But I think what Neeraj ji has said has kind of summarized it all. There is a big mismatch between your expectations and family's expectations, and the anxieties and the depressions happening, and your performance of maybe IIT. हमने बोला, हमने हंस दिया कि you get comfortable in your CGPA, but the pressure is there. You can't get out of IIT without at least getting a minimum CGPA or passing out the courses. You still have to study, so it's not a cakewalk even after you get into IIT. You have exams every 2-3 months, which you have to get through the system. So yeah, I think I would agree with what Neeraj ji has said there.
Okay. Do you think women are under more pressure than men because probably their families would not let them take like more time at an educational institute?
I think women are under more pressure, but I would also say the women who manage to get into this institutes are more stronger, because
Okay.
yeah, so it takes a lot more challenge to get through those rigorous courses, classes, exam, and the high level of. So I would expect a lot of women who sort of get through the system, through the funnel, and the 50 women who reach out are much stronger mentally. So
Okay.
probably वो pressure तो होता ही है. Women are also by nature perfectionists. So CGPA जब
Yeah.
10 से नीचे पहली बार आता है, right? You are shocked because everybody is a school topper there.
Yeah.
Before getting into IIT. So वो तो होता है, but I think the pressure is on both men and women. I would say if
Okay.
you're part of the IIT system, you have your CGPA is relatively rated, right? You're on a relative grading scale versus all the boys and the girls in the class.
Got it. Rohit?
Yeah, I think there are three elements to this. So one is the individual themselves. They have some inherent what do you call it, benchmark that they've come in with when they got into IT, and if they're not able to meet that, then they some of them take it in a negative sense that I'm not able to do this. The second, I think, a lot to do with the parents, right? So I know a relative who got, I think, 80% marks in their first term exam or in the first semester, and the mother said, why not 90%, right? So
Oh.
something like that. So because the parents are used to seeing those 100% and 90% in the marks card, and suddenly, so I remember when I showed my first semester grade sheet to my dad, and because he was an ITN and I had scored a 5.7 or thereabouts, he just looked at it and said, okay, do better next semester, right? Because he knew the system that is there, right? But a lot of people who have been high achievers, and they expect the children to be high achievers in college as well. I remember another senior of mine, I think he was Neeraj's batchmate, who I think in my third year or fourth year they started sending the grade sheets home. At least people who were below a certain level,
Oh my.
right? And I remember going with my senior to his house to preempt, so to go there, reach there before the grade sheet arrives, so that he can intercept it before his parents get to
Oh.
see. Right, it was
No,
that
no,
bad.
no. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so that is the second aspect, right? So individual, the parents, and then the whole environment, right? So while the faculty may be great, maybe there'll be like 5-10% who are kind of frustrated, to use, for lack of a better word. I remember in my first semester, one of our lab assistants had jumped off the roof, right? And I met
Oh.
him like 10 minutes. So we had a lab that day, and lab got over early, and we all went to the roof. There was a rooftop restaurant at that time. And we saw this person walking on the roof. His slippers had been kept to his side. I think he was contemplating, kudu ki na kudu, whatever. So we wished him good morning, went to the canteen, and within half an hour, somebody came and said he's jumped off, right? So, and he was frustrated because his PhD was not getting complete even after so many years. So,
Oh.
sometimes the faculty might also play some part. I'm not saying all the faculty, but there may be those 5%, 10% faculty who are themselves frustrated within the system because of whatever reasons, and who then take it out on their students.
Okay.
So these are my 2 cents.
Okay. Praneeth, what about you? How is it nowadays?
Yeah, so exactly. Can you just repeat the question so I
Sure.
stick to the
I'm
points?
asking about the suicides because I mean it's not stopped. Like there was a suicide last week. So
Yeah.
what do you think drives these students to suicide nowadays?
Yeah, so actually these days what has happened is that since the number of students have relatively increased since the past few years and all. So these days getting an internship or getting through the placement process here at IT Delhi is not particularly at IT Delhi, in fact mostly at most ITs or in most colleges only. So basically कहीं ना कहीं आपको एक मिनिमम CGPA तो चाहिए कि अगर आपकी
Mhm.
उतनी CGPA नहीं होगी तो people will say कि कंपनी को लेके नहीं जाएगी, कंपनी विल
Okay.
नॉट हायर यू, या फिर ऐसे जैसे एक स्टैंडर्ड हमारे यहाँ नोशन है कि 70 नहीं है आपकी तो मोस्टली कंपनीज आपको शॉर्टलिस्ट भी नहीं करेंगी, दे विल नॉट शॉर्टलिस्ट, एंड इसी प्रेशर में देन पीपल ट्राई एंड वर्क हार्ड एंड ट्राई एंड गेट अ गुड CGPA. बट द एक्चुअल पॉइंट वही मैंने जो अपने लास्ट टाइम कहा था कि द एक्चुअल पॉइंट हियर इज ओनली कि वहाँ पे एवरीवन इज एन ITN, सो यू आर बेसिकली कंपीटिंग विद ऑल ऑफ देम एंड रिलेटिव है सब कुछ वहाँ पे. सो इट इज़ पॉसिबल कि एंड होता क्या है कि आजकल ऐसा हो गया कि पढ़ाई जो है IT की बिफोर आई मीन 11th and 12th फॉर IT, प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर IT, दैट हैज़ बीन वेरी मैकेनाइज्ड एंड बिल्कुल people cut themselves off from the complete world. जैसे if people go to Kota, they don't have a smartphone, they don't have anything, which normally people at their age at these times have. 11th-12th में
Yeah.
आजकल लोगों के पास होता है. So जब वो IT आते हैं बहुत सारे लोग, so बहुत सारी चीज़ें उन्हें पहली बार पता लगती है कि अच्छा बाहर घूम सकते हैं, अच्छा बाहर अच्छा खाना, फ़ोन, ये वो ऐसे वैसे. So मस्ती वस्ती में लोग चले जाते हैं एंड कहीं ना कहीं जाते 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 इट गेट्स टू लेट एंड देन दे रियलाइज कि नहीं शायद पढ़ना था. एंड एक पॉइंट के बाद बिकॉज इट इज है कि CGPA आप इम्प्रूव नहीं कर पाओगे अपनी, आप कितना भी हार्ड ट्राई कर लो, यू कैन नॉट, बिकॉज इट इज
Really?
क्यूमुलेटिव. It is cumulative.
Oh, right. So what is this point? In which year would you cross this point?
You can assume it that after your second year or maybe after your 5th semester, so it is very hard for you to actually make a large difference in your CGPA. Maybe you
Okay.
can make a 0.1 or 0.2 difference, but not a very great difference. So उस वजह से CGPA के प्रेशर में देन आजकल जैसे रोहित सर सेड कि प्रॉफ्स का रोल, आई वुड नॉट से इट्स ए कंप्लीटली देयर इज अ रोल कि हाँ प्रॉफ्स के वजह से कुछ हो रहा है या वो सब, बट कहीं ना कहीं वैसा है कि इफ द स्टूडेंट इज गोइंग थ्रू स्ट्रेस, सो देर आर मतलब प्रॉफ्स का भी थोड़े बहुत कंस्ट्रेंट होते हैं कि दे हैव टू फिनिश द कोर्स और दे हैव टू फिनिश एन असाइनमेंट और गिव इट टू स्टूडेंट्स विद इन अ पर्टिकुलर टाइम पीरियड, सो उन्हें करना पड़ता है. एंड कहीं ना कहीं बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स, बिकॉज देयर आर सो मेनी कोर्सेज एंड सो मेनी, आप ऐसा समझो कि आईआईटी में हर बंदा आपको ये बोलता है कि सब कुछ करो, सिर्फ पढ़ाई से कुछ नहीं होगा. You have to do cultural activities, you have to play sports, you have to build your CV, you have to build your personality, you have to bring, मतलब आईटी दिल्ली में ये भी चलता है कि आप अपना एलुमनाई नेटवर्क बढ़ाओ, आप बाहर बात करो लोगों से, ये सब करो. सो इतनी सारी चीज़ें हैंडल करना कहीं ना कहीं इज़ वेरी वेरी स्ट्रेसफुल. एंड
Okay.
कुछ स्टूडेंट्स देन क्रॉस द लिमिट. एंड उसमें ये भी होता है कि there are some people who are introvert, obviously introverts, क्योंकि you haven't talked to many people while you're in 11th and 12th. तो आप आके भी बहुत ज़्यादा दोस्त नहीं बना पाते, आप उतना शेयर नहीं कर पाते लोगों से. एंड दैट इज़ वन ऑफ द प्राइम रीजन्स कि अंदर ही अंदर यू स्टार्ट
Okay.
टू लूज योर सेल्फ. वैसी वाली बात,
Okay.
यू डोंट शेयर एनीथिंग विद एनीवन. जैसे मोस्ट ऑफ द सुसाइड्स में हम जो डिस्कस करते हैं कि क्या हुआ एंड ऑल, मोस्ट ऑफ द सुसाइड में वही एक चीज़ कॉमन जो वी हैव नोटिस्ड ऑब्जर्व्ड इज कि the person didn't used to talk to anyone, किसी से भी नहीं.
Okay.
मतलब he used to not share with anyone, or he used to have a lot of backs in a lot of subjects. And this is because if you're not having a friend circle na in IT, so it is very very tough for you to actually cross, because friends कहीं ना कहीं आपकी 60-70% लाइफ कंप्लीट कर देते हैं IT में, सब कुछ. बाकी आपका सिर्फ 20-30% रहता है. सो शेयर करना, एंड लोग आजकल घर से भी काफ़ी कट ऑफ रहते हैं these days. नॉट लाइक पहले, काफ़ी पहले ये सब नहीं होता था. आजकल लोग घर पे भी शेयर नहीं करते.
Okay.
So parents also get to know it after a long time कि अच्छा he was actually their son or their daughter was actually going through stress.
Got it.
And क्या करें. And आजकल तो counseling services and all, नीरज sir would completely know कि counseling services and all बहुत खुल गई हैं आजकल. But again
Okay.
people अभी तक वैसा है कि लोगों के अंदर दिमाग में एक fear है कि काउंसलिंग के पास जाऊंगा तो लोग मजाक उड़ाएंगे
That's
कि
true.
मैं एक सब्जेक्ट के लिए काउंसलिंग के लिए जा रहा हूँ यार, क्या मैं इतना हैंडल नहीं कर सकता. सो
That's true.
फियर कहीं ना कहीं आपको किल करता है. वो वाली बात है अबाउट द सोसाइटी, व्हाट द सोसाइटी विल थिंक इफ आई डू दिस.
Very well put. Very well put. Okay. Now, guys, I'm coming to the last question, which I'm going to ask each of you. Its question is simply this: did this entire system of IIT and so much pressure help you in achieving what you have achieved today, or do you feel you could have done it without it? And give me a slight picture of what happened to you after you graduated. Let's start from Neeraj.
Okay. No, I think मैं तो पूरा क्रेडिट आईआईटी को दूंगा for whatever little I could achieve in my life. Yeah, like I was mentioning that आईआईटी का सिस्टम ना आपको आपकी पर्सनालिटी निखारता है, वो आपको ना सपने देखना सिखाता है. आप इतने ब्रिलियंट माइंड्स के साथ होते हो ना, आपके अंदर आपको पता भी नहीं होता है कि एक चीज घुस गई आपके अंदर, एक सेल्फ बिलीव कि आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो. सी वन थिंग यू हियर, सो कि आप बहुत अच्छी जगह पर हो, यू आर एट ए ग्रेट प्लेस एंड एवरीबडी एक्सपेक्ट सो मच फ्रॉम यू. In a way you also start believing, start building that belief about yourself, and I think that's the first quality one needs to have. That do you have that strong self belief कि यार मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ या कर सकती हूँ. That is number one thing. Number two thing, जैसे हम बात कर रहे थे, इतने झटके लगते हैं, वो नाइट आउट्स, वो लास्ट मिनट तक की हसल, चीज़ों को कितने भी सेटबैक्स हो, कितने भी चैलेंजेस हो, योर एबिलिटी टू स्टिल मैनेज इट, वो भी आपके अंदर भर जाती है. ये आप कब पता चलता है आपको, जब आप लाइफ में निकलते हो. सो व्हाट हैपेंड इन माय केस इज, मुझे सिर्फ सिविल इंजीनियरिंग के बारे में पता था. सो आई ओनली न्यू अबाउट सिविल इंजीनियरिंग व्हेन आई गॉट इनटू आईआईटी. और मुझे आईआईटी दिल्ली में वही लेनी थी. माय रैंक वाज गुड, आई वाज इन अ 900 रैंक. एंड उन दिनों बायोटेक नाम की एक ब्रांच थी, इसको प्रमोट किया गया एज अ फ्यूचर ऑफ
I almost took it, yes.
And
it is still being promoted as that.
It is still, 25 साल हो गए रोहित, पता है. और वो ना रैंक में थोड़ा ऊपर आती है वो जब काउंसलिंग होती है. तो उन्होंने कहा बायोटेक ले लो, तो मैंने ले लिया. अब आई हैड नो आइडिया अबाउट इट. बट वो बायोटेक जैसी ब्रांचेस ना उनके लिए होती है जिनको रिसर्च करनी है, जिनको बाहर जाना है. ग्रेट ब्रांच फॉर समवन जिसको यूएस जाके पीएचडी करनी है. तो कहानी वहीं से शुरू हो गई. अपनी तो पढ़ाई में इंटरेस्ट, जैसे जैसे बायोटेक समझ में, सेकंड ईयर में, एक्चुअली बाय दैट टाइम आप ब्रांच चेंज कर सकते हो फर्स्ट ईयर के बाद, लेकिन 4 कोर्सेज शुरू होते हैं सेकंड ईयर से, तो इंटरेस्ट वाज लॉस्ट कंप्लीटली. Then it was all other things in life. So basically I ended up being a 5 point someone gang ki I was near 6, just little 5.98 CGPA. So but thanks to this IT boom, it was a lot easier to get a job in any IT company. So
Mhm.
got started in IT industry, and उन्होंने सिर्फ इसलिए हायर किया कि IIT से हूँ, तो फर्स्ट क्रेडिट टू IIT फॉर दैट
Okay.
एक्चुअली, no questions asked कि ठीक है. And then I was with this company called the Mahindra British Telecom. Now it is Tech Mahindra in Pune. एंड उन दिनों सैलरीज का इतना कम कंपैरिजन नहीं था, ना ही इतना बड़ा गैप था. आई थिंक हमारे टाइम पे केमिकल वालों की जॉब लगती थी, रिलायंस आती थी, एंड द टॉप सैलरीज यूज्ड टू बी अराउंड 1.8 और 2 lakhs के आसपास एनम. और सो मतलब सैलरीज में इतना फर्क था ही नहीं. तो आईटी इंडस्ट्री में सैलरी वाज अ प्रीटी गुड स्टार्ट एक्चुअली. इफ यू आर
Mhm.
स्टार्टिंग विद 2 to 3 lakhs annual salary, it was a pretty good salary for those days. So you were very happy. घर से बाहर हो, जॉब है, कुछ दोस्तों के साथ रह रहे हो, तो it was good money, you know. Uh, then in company also you carry that tag of IITian. तो देखो आप काम कुछ भी करो नहीं करो, आपके सिर पे वो ताज रखा हुआ है.
There's no pressure, extra pressure on you because of that? No? People are not
It is
expecting
always
great
there.
things?
Oh yeah, it is there. It is there for sure.
Okay.
For sure, it is always that extra pressure on you, extra expectations, and you have to really work hard to uh, keep up, you know, कि हाँ यार. तो किसी ना किसी फॉर्म में तो आपको दिखाना होता है ना. मतलब आईआईटीएंस का मतलब क्या है कि आप बहुत इंटेलिजेंट हो, राइट? Doesn't mean you are a great person or you're a very nice guy or you're a good leader and all that stuff, but yes, you are supposed to be a brainy guy.
Yeah.
And so you enjoy that stardom, I would say. At least I was doing it in my case. um, I was sent to UK.
Mhm.
Among, I was selected few from my batch in that company कि हाँ इसको तो भेजना ही है. So I lived there. So but I think the real thing I realized about those qualities that I built in IIT, I would say, is I could think of entrepreneurship.
Okay.
I was well settled in UK. I was getting my PR. I could have stayed there for my entire life. But I felt कि नहीं यार, ये नहीं कर सकता मैं, है ना. I should do something bigger. I'm meant to do something big in my life. I didn't know what, honestly, but that was definitely a very, very strong feeling inside.
Okay.
And I think most of us get that feeling. So I left that. I came back to India. I moved to Bangalore and I started my first company in 2006.
Mhm.
Uh, First time, जोश ज़्यादा होता है, होश थोड़ा कम होता है. You don't have a lot of financials. My first kid was about to born, and my wife was a homemaker,
Mhm.
so no financial securities. But आपके अंदर इतना वो होता है ना, डेयरिंग होती है कि हाँ
Okay.
देख लेंगे, हो जाएगा कुछ ना कुछ. एंड कहीं ना कहीं आईआईटी की एक सबसे बड़ी आपको स्ट्रेंथ मिलती है इन फॉर्म ऑफ योर नेटवर्क,
Ah,
your
okay.
friends in your network. I would say it's a massive power you get from a place like IIT.
Okay.
So one is your ability to dream big. Second is your self belief,
Mhm.
and third is the power of that support system कि fall as a fallback option कि हाँ. और वो दोस्ती इतनी पक्की होती है ना, आईआईटी के दिनों में आप 25 साल के
Mhm.
बाद भी किसी को कॉल करोगे ना और बोलोगे कि मुझे कुछ चाहिए हेल्प, आई टेल
हाँ.
यू even everybody will be up there.
Okay.
So so I think that's what I
Okay.
would say कि I got that courage
Got
and
it.
self belief that I could start my entrepreneurial journey at such a young age, and I'm still carrying that. And I got tremendous support of all my friends, IT network, and being in IT, Abhibi, I get that extra leverage
All right.
for
All
being
right.
in IT. Yes.
Okay. Rima, tell me.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think the grilling you go through, the 4 or 5 years you spend at IIT, it develops your personality. Because most of the students उससे पहले सिर्फ पढ़ के आए होते हैं, and then you get exposed to a whole new world. So for IIT, it taught me stress management. Everybody has assignments to do at the last time. How do you manage that? It taught me time management. How आप classes भी जा रहे हो, आप extra curriculars भी कर रहे हो, आप sports भी कर रहे हो, inter hostel भी कर रहे हो, rendezvous भी कर रहे हो. Everything you most of the people are part of a lot of these things going on depending on what your interest is, and then it gives you friends for life. क्योंकि ना hostel life बड़ी different होती है. It's very different than just being a day scholar basically. But if you've spent like 4 years together 24 hours in a hostel, that relationship, that network that you get, and even if you are not overlapping वो IIT कह के ना कोई आप किसी को फोन करोगे कि मैं आपकी जूनियर हूँ IIT दिल्ली से, मुझे ये हेल्प चाहिए, people just help you out and they go out of the way to get you through. And that's the beautiful network which being an alumni of IIT gives you. So I think for me it was a no-brainer. I would happily do it ever again if I can want to, if I have the chance basically.
And now you're in Dubai and you're running a women's organization there. So how did you reach there?
So Dubai happened about 5 years ago, and I landed here, and I wanted to make friends. And we just opened this little community where we started organizing coffee meetups, Diwali meetups, and by the virtue of being expats, when you are an expat in a foreign country, you don't have family here. So none of us has family here to go back to. So that's how the community comes together and supports each other. So right now we are the largest women-only platform, and our mission is women supporting women. So we have a social cause of connecting women here, Indian expat women here, making friends, celebrating events. We work with the Indian Consulate here on a lot of their initiatives. We have a business mission of empowering women-led businesses, and supporting women entrepreneurs. They're helping women, because women, when you move to a new country, you usually move for the family, and you leave your job behind. You're kind of a trailing spouse, right? So that's one of the biggest issues that we face in Dubai. So we're trying to leverage our network. And again, I go back to the IT network to get all those jobs and, all of that, which I'm planning to do, right? So, you get a lot of job opportunities where we can place women back into the workforce. So we do a lot of work around that, and we're building on it day by day. But that's and I think the IIM network honestly gives me a lot of leeway and a lot of connects and a lot of ideas, and people would come forward and help us and support us.
Okay. Rohit, let's hear from you.
Yeah, so I think building on what Neeraj said, it gives you that confidence that okay, you crossed a very tough exam, so it can't get worse than this, right? And so, for example, I mean, you've gone through the grind; it can't get worse than this. Although when I went to IIM, I used more features of my scientific calculator than I used at IIT. That's a different matter. But it also took me 6 attempts over 9 years to get into an IIM. Right. It was like all my good friends had gotten to an IMA or an IMC. And in my mind, it was if they can get in, I can get in too. Although I didn't, in my mind, it didn't register that they were all 8-pointers and 9-pointers and I was a 4-pointer. So I would clear the exam every year, but then I would get stuck at the interview stage. So finally, by brute force, I got in. But yeah, the tenacity that we develop, right? Because we've cleared the exam, we've worked with some, like Neil said, some of the smartest brains in the country, right? Are your peers. In my batch itself, there are like 4 people who have started companies that went on to become unicorns. And unlike many other colleges, if you reach out to them for help, they will always provide. So one of my batchmates, I tell him I'm coming to Delhi, he'll say, come stay with me. Or when he was running his first venture in Pune, I checked into a hotel and he said, Abhi check out kar lo, main aa raha hu. And he never ate breakfast. He would cook breakfast for me. So these are the kind of friends we have, and so the support we get from the community is great. And the aspect, like, so in 2011, I quit my job and started got into entrepreneurship. And because I was traveling and we were a bootstrapped venture, I created groups in different cities, of my friends from IIT. And when I would travel to Delhi, I'd put in the group, I'm coming to Delhi, right? And somebody or the other would reach out and say, come stay with me. So it was indirectly a way of, not asking them, but informing them and hoping that somebody will be kind enough to host me at the house, right? So
all right.
Save money on whatever, stay, hotel food, ghar ka khana milega types. Right.
Okay.
But
And now
now
you
over the
consult
last
startups.
no, now over the last 10, 12 years, those groups have taken a life of their own. So people discuss, there are each of them have like 400, 500 members,
Okay.
unicorn founders as well. They discuss all kinds of things on those groups. And
Okay.
yes, and that is my source of strength because right now in my current job, we provide services to startups, and this is the best way for me to reach out to them and manage to cover so many of these funded
Okay.
ventures in the country.
Okay. Awesome. Praneeth, finally, we're going to hear from you.
Yes, so yes, as all of them said, network का तो है ही and मेरे साथ ये था कि while I was preparing and all, तो तब तो इतना alumni से connection नहीं, but इतना ही था कि because as I told मेरे पापा भी IT दिल्ली से ही हैं, तो उनका एक network तो चल ही जा रहा है, so they all used to know me. जैसे रोहित सर, मैं रोहित सर से बहुत पहले भी एक बार मिला हूँ when I was in Bombay also, and उसके बाद me reaching there and in the same hostel, Rohit sir also had the same hostel, so Rohit sir का भी कुमाऊं ही था, so me reaching there in the same hostel, तो वैसा हो गया था कि my father just mentioned it on his group and सब लोग ऐसा हो गया था, अरे अरे बेटा भी वहीं पहुंच गया, बेटा भी वहीं पहुंच गया. So that is a very very big network. जैसे a lot of times during my 4 years, a lot of alumni visited the hostel. बाहर ही they used to come and see, and वहाँ पे तुरंत जैसे I used to go, तो मतलब ऐसे सब जा रहे हैं तो उनसे तो बातें हो रही है, मेरे से एक अलग ही कनेक्ट कि अच्छा, क्योंकि they used to know my father, तो फिर वो मेरे साथ फोटो लेके they used to put it on the group, फिर पापा मुझे कॉल कर रहे हैं किससे मिले आज, ऐसे ऐसे टाइप्स. सो बेसिकली द पॉइंट बीइंग कि नेटवर्क बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग है ऑलरेडी, एक पुराना नेटवर्क तो चल ही रहा है, एंड ऑल्सो द फ्रेंड्स दैट आई हैव मेड ड्यूरिंग दीज 4 years. हमारा अभी ऐसा रहता है कि we all of us have joined companies like just a month ago and all, so आगे जाके भी आजकल कंपनीज में जैसे there is a referral process and all, so लोगों का होता है कि obviously you are such good friends with your other I mean hostel mates that आगे जाके भी referral वगैरह का है, so they'll give you a referral, and bond बहुत ज़्यादा strong है, as everyone said, नीरज sir, रोहित sir and रीमा मैम, I'm sorry, कि hostel में रहने के वजह से the bond has become very very strong.
Okay.
So that's all, matlab, I guess. If there's anything I need to add, so आप बताइए.
That brings us to the end. Thank you so much, people. You all have been really, really nice, and this has been a lovely conversation. I will now move this to Khulke, and I will be sending you all the links. But thank you so much, and thank you for giving me your time. All right.
Yeah,
Guys,
thanks, Kajal.
yes.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It was a great time. Thank you.